Hi people, welcome back to my channel, and today I have a video where I'm trying to better my life again. So one of my goals this year is to become better financially. I want to be better with money, and for me that means several things. So first, on the spending side of the spectrum, I tend to spend too much without really knowing how much money I can spend. So like I see that there is money in my bank account, so I spend money, and then I don't have enough money for my bills, for example, or my money is gone too quickly and at the end of the month I don't have any money left. Also on the spending side of the spectrum, I online shop and then use a pay later feature. So that means I spend money that I don't have yet. So by the time that I have money, a big portion of that is going to the stuff that I bought with a pay later feature. And that means a lot of my money is gone before I can even use it. So these are some spending habits that I want to really quench this year. And then on the other side of the spectrum, the saving side of the spectrum, I don't save. Sometimes I save, but by the time that the month is over, I have already spent the money that I put in a savings account. So I don't have any real savings going on for me. So I want to change that. I want to save. This year I want to save money, and I want to be more mindful of my spending and stop altogether with spending money I don't have yet. So these are the things that I'm going to be tackling in today's video, or at least we're going to try something out which I think will help me with these things. And the thing that I want to try out this month is cash stuffing, because I think that can really help me. TikTok has been feeding me cash stuffing videos, so thank you TikTok. So I was watching these cash stuffing videos on TikTok and I was thinking, you know what, this could really help me out, especially right now, because financially something happened in my life that made it so that I am financially on an all-time low right now. I mean, since leaving my parents' house, I haven't had income that was this low. So that is nerve-wracking, and I really think that this cash stuffing thing can help me getting through this time of need. I basically need an intervention right now, and TikTok made me believe that cash stuffing is the thing to do. So let's get into what actually is cash stuffing. Cash stuffing basically is just a form of budgeting where you go to the ATM and get all of your budgets in cash, and then you use envelopes for every budget, for every category. So groceries, household, gas, stuff like that. You get an envelope and then you put the allocated money for that budget into the envelope, and you only spend the money from that envelope in that month or that week, whatever time frame you have for your budgets. Yeah, that's basically it. I believe it is a very old-fashioned way of budgeting, and it is making a resurgence. I see a lot of cash stuffing content on TikTok, and I think it's very helpful. So it's basically budgeting using envelopes and cash. That's it. And the goal of cash stuffing is to be mindful of your spending. So that's in two ways. You're mindful of it while you're doing it because you have cash money. You feel the money, you see it going out, you see how much money you will have left at the end of the month. So say you have a budget, you have €1,000. Betty! So let's say you have €1,000 to budget, and you put €100 to household items, €100 to drugstore, €500 to groceries, but you all keep it in your bank account. You still have €1,000. So if you spend €150 on household items throughout the month, you don't really notice that you have overspent in that category because it all comes out of the same big pool of money. You don't know where your money is going. You just know at the end of the month that your money is gone and that you still need some money for groceries and you don't have it. So I think using this envelope method, it is easier to keep track of the different budgets that you have going on. So that way it makes you mindful of what you spend, it makes you not overspend. It also helps with still having money at the end of the month that you need for certain budgets like groceries. Now, of course, there are benefits to cash stuffing and there are drawbacks for it as well. So let's talk about these pros and cons of cash stuffing. So I already touched upon some of these benefits. You are more aware of where your money is going. You are more aware of your spending, so you're less likely to overspend. You're probably, if you don't overspend, going to have money at the end of the month still for your groceries and other stuff. And it physically prevents you from going over budget, because once the money in the envelope allocated to a certain budget is depleted, you're not going to be able to spend any more money on that category. Of course, you can get money from other budgets, but if you do that, you're not going to have enough money for that particular budget. So these are some of the advantages, and then some of the disadvantages. You have to pay for everything in cash, and this is something that I have noticed in my country is quite hard to do. It is very discouraged to pay in cash. Our Minister of Finance actually proposed a law prohibiting cash payments for over 100 euros. That's a whole other story I'm not going to get into, but luckily they didn't actually do that. But it is hard in my country to pay with cash. I mean, it isn't really, but there are places that you cannot pay in cash, like our local theater, you cannot pay cash. The library, you cannot pay cash. You have a lot of self-checkouts where you can only pay with PIN, and then there is only one cash register where someone is sitting, so you can pay with. There's only one cash register. So parking, always have to pay by card. 24-hour gas stations, only by card. There isn't a lot of places. There's more, it is hard. It's made hard to pay with cash in my country. I have noticed that, but I chose to still do it because I think it is worth it. This is also a lot of work because you do still have to keep track of everything. Every time I go out to do groceries, I have to, when I get back, look through all the receipts, see what category every item is going into and how much I spend per category. So it is still, you still have to be very mindful while shopping, and afterwards it is a lot of work to get all the budgets lined up again how they should be. And another disadvantage is that it is harder or impossible to make online payments because you have to pay for those with card as well. So if you want a budget for that, you still have to keep it on your bank account. And for me, this is easier because my bank actually offers a type of budgeting system within their app. So I can transfer money to different little budgets. So that way I can still do this. I could do this entire thing by card, but I think it is more work than just doing it cash. And I do also think that the awareness of spending is bigger when you do it with just cash. But it would be possible for me to do it online with my bank. But that's also harder because as soon as I put money in a budget, I have to go online to put it back in my checking account, my payment account, so I can pay at the cash register. And a lot of stores, the service is really bad and I cannot go on the internet, so it stresses me out. So I think just having cash is easier for me. Let's talk about how this works. So what you do, first of all, you see how much money is coming in, how much money do I need for bills, and how much money do I have left over after bills to allocate to different budgets. Once you've done that, you decide what part of this money is going into savings and what part of this money is going into my budgets. And then once you know how much money you have to allocate to your different budgets, you decide how much money goes into every budget. So I had grocery budgets, 4 of those for every week of the month. I had a household, a pets, you know what, I have my binder that I use right here. Let's see. I have groceries for 4 weeks. I have household, drugstore, eating out, gas, pets, fun, extra, and a rollover. And that's all of the budgets that I have. But of course you can personalize this exactly how you would want it. I see there is people that I believe in America you get paid weekly, so there is people that just take everything out in cash and then stuff cash for their monthly bills, so that every week they take a little bit out for their monthly bills, so at the end of the month they can pay their bills. But that would be very hard for me because that's everything is being paid in cash here, and putting cash in my bank account costs money, so I don't really want to do that. And also income here is monthly as well, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, once you know how much money you have and you know where you want to spend it, it's really, you have to really think about this. Where do I spend my money? How much do I need? Of course, doing it is going to show you how much you actually need and if you can save somewhere or have to add some money somewhere else. So this is really a doing thing as well, but really think about this at the beginning to make this successful. So then when you know how much money you need for the month, you're going to go to the ATM, draw all your money out, get all your money, and then just, you know, stuff everything in the envelopes where it's supposed to be. And then all the money that you spend has to come from the allocated envelopes. And once the envelope is empty, you cannot spend in that category anymore. So I started off doing this with actual envelopes because I was watching these videos trying to learn about cash stuffing, and everyone had a binder, but they were saying you can definitely do this with just envelopes. So I did get a pack of envelopes from the store for like a few euros, and I started using those, and it is definitely possible, but it is very much a lot easier to use these binders. It's easier than having to sift through all the envelopes. Where's my budget? And yeah, I just think this is easier because they're also see-through and it's just easier. So halfway through the month, I decided to invest in these. They're like 10 euros, so it's not that expensive. And I would really recommend, if you're going to do this, to get one of these binders because it's just easier, and easier means there is more chance of succeeding. I actually got two. One is for the spending and one is for saving. So one thing that you also have to be mindful of is getting all of the receipts while you are out shopping. This is something I never ever get receipts, so it was very hard for me to keep in mind, because once you're at the cash register, I know I have to get my receipt, but it's just automatic to say no, I don't need the receipt. So, but at the end of the month, I managed to change that habit and ask for the receipt. And also want to explain the last few categories. So we have all of the budgets, and then I have a rollover and a extra. So extra is pretty self-explanatory. I try to put some money in here at the beginning of the month, and anything that is left over from groceries I can also put in the extra envelope, so that if I need some money for something that is not in one of the budgets, or if I overspend in one of the budgets and I still have some money in extra, I can use extra money to do that. And then at the end of the month, I could put any money that is still left in my rollover budget, so that I can use this money to roll over into next month, so that at the next month I don't have to withdraw as much money from the bank, so that the extra rollover money can stay in the bank. So for example, if I have 100 euros left over at the end of the month and I want to do another 1,000 for next month budget, I only withdraw 900 euros from the bank. I have the other 100 in my rollover, and I use that for the next month, and the 100 euros that was left over and is still in the bank now, I'm going to put into my savings account. That's basically what a rollover is for. And I think I have explained everything. Let me show you my savings binder as well. So I've got some challenges. Right now we have the March challenge and the spring challenge. I just put some random numbers on there, and I try to put some money in there when I have it, so that at the end of the month, if it's full, for March I have 55, and for spring I have 250 euros in these. It's just a fun way to try to save money. And I keep track of everything in these sheets, by the way, that came with the binder. They're in the black one as well. And then I have a €5 challenge and a €2 challenge. Basic, same thing. And then I have a 100 envelope challenge, which I want to finish in a year. And usually it is just 100 envelopes, and every envelope is a number from 1 to 100. And then at the end of the year, or at the end, when you have filled every one of them, you'd have €5,000. I decided to do a double, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and so forth. When I have filled all of these, I would have €10,000. So we'll see how quickly I can do that. Then I have statiegeld. This is something that we have in the Netherlands. When you buy in different countries, but I know we have it here. When you buy a bottle, a plastic bottle of, soda, you pay 25 cents for the bottle. And then when you bring the empty bottle back, you get 25 cents back. This is also the case with small bottles. They are 10 cents, I believe, or 15 cents. Cans, that's new. They put cans on there as well, 15 cents. And glass bottles are 10 cents. And then the crate you get your beers in is also like €2 or something. So every time you bring these things back, you get your money back. So I thought it would be fun to save all of my statiegeld as well. And it's going pretty well. I already have €40 in here. It's the end of the month, by the way. I've done this already. I have emergency fund. As you can see, I didn't put anything in there yet, but it's the same principle. I put some random numbers on there. If I put any of these numbers in there, I can color it in. And at the end, I would have 1,000. And then I have one for my pets. And I thought if I have any money left over from my spending budget for pets, I'm going to put it in here. Same for house. If I have any money left over from my household budget at the end of the month, I'm going to put it in here. These numbers that I've already filled in, those are the numbers that are already in there. Same thing for fun. Same thing for beauty. The drugstore money is going into beauty. There's already €5 in there. Car, same thing. If I have money left over from gas, I'm going to put it in car. And of course, I can also put random other money in there as well. The goal is to eventually, when my income increases again, to increase my budgets, but also to withdraw some money from the ATM to directly put into my savings binder as well. Right now, I don't have the money to do that. So it is everything that I put in my savings binder is going to be what I have left over at the end of the month from my budgets. But the goal is to also put money in there that doesn't touch the spending budget, just goes straight into savings. And I hope in that way to be able to save more, because I feel like if I put it in the savings binder, it's gone. Now it's saved. And if I color something in, I cannot take it out again because something is colored in. I cannot take that out because then the whole thing will be off. So I hope that way of doing this is going to help me save more. And then there are some more budgets. I have a hobby budget for me personally and for my husband personally. Those are on my bank account. I have budgets in my banking app for hobbies for me and for my husband. And right now we are poor, so we don't have any money for our clothing. We have enough clothing, so it's fine. But that's a budget that's on my bank account because I feel like most of that stuff is going to be bought online. And anything that is not in the spending budget but I have to buy online, I can also put in my bank account in a different budget. So anyhow, let me show you some of the clips of doing this. Hey guys, it has been a week. I have been doing the envelope system for a week and I decided that this is probably a very good way to budget. And also I feel like I can save a lot of money doing this. So I decided to spend some money and get a binder, one of those cash stuffing binders with little pouches in them where you can keep your money, because I just feel like it will be easier. With the envelopes, it is definitely possible and it's a great way to do it if you don't want to spend so much, but also this was €10 and I think it's a good investment to save money. This is fine, but it takes a lot of work. You have to I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be a lot easier. We're going to put everything that is in the envelopes into the binder right now. I got two binders actually. This one is for the spending money, and then I have another one that I'm going to use for the saving. So first, let's get out all the money from this. And there's actually tiny bulletin things where I can keep track of everything. So I'm going to write down exactly how much is in every envelope, how much I've already spent this month, get everything organized like that. So let's start with that. So groceries for week one. Week one is already over. There's €2.25 left from that week. I'm just going to put all the money over there for now. And then week two, as it is already the second day of week two, we already went to the grocery store and shopped. So technically there is €14.55 left, but I didn't have any change. So there's €15 in that envelope. And then groceries for week three. There is still €100 in this envelope because week three hasn't started yet. And week four is the same. So household, €45.55 left. Next up is the drugstore, $87.30 left. Let's see if it is correct. 85, 87.30 cents. It is correct. So eating out, we have €25 left. There's actually €30 in there, probably because I didn't have exactly 25. And then gas, 135. There should be about that in here. 130. So yesterday we actually filled up the gas tank again, and that was €63. So gotta subtract that from here. There should be 72 left. Pets. So there should be €15.60 left. There's €10.60 left because the change that I got back from the groomers is still in my wallet. Fun. We started with 80. We went out for some drinks for a friend's birthday. And we spent €25 there. So we are left with 55. 100 envelopes. I'm going to keep this filled as statiegeld as well, because those are going to go in the other binder, but that one hasn't arrived yet. And then we have extra. We have €10 in that. Rollover is empty. Emergency, also empty. Presents, cadeau, it's also empty, but I have €30 in the bank for a present for my sister. Let me grab my wallet and see what's still in there. I have €5 and a little bit of change, 50 cents. Okay, so groceries week one, I'm going to leave empty because that's already been, but there's €2.25. I'm going to set that aside to put in the rollover. Groceries week two, like we said, there is €14.55 left. I don't have that much change, so I'm just going to put 15 in there. Groceries week three is getting 100. And week four as well. Over to household. There is 45 € and 55 left in that one. So 45, 55. Drugstore gets 87.30. So 85. 87.30. Eating out. There's only 25 left in that one. Gas, we have 72 left. I don't have that much change, so I'm going to put 75 and see if it works that way. Yoop. Pets. There's 15 € and 60 left in pets. So we are encountering the next problem. I'm going to put 20 in there. And then when there is change, I'm just going to take some out again. Fun. We have 55 left. Again, I don't have a fiver, so I'm going to put 60. Extra 10 was in there, so I'm going to put the 10 back. And then we have roll over. I'm going to put my 50 in there and all the change that is left. So how much do we have here? 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, €1.10. And that's it. That's them filled. Today, it doesn't stay closed. Oh, it does. Okay. So today we're going to go to the drugstore. We're going to go thrift shopping. So I'm going to take out from Fun, and we're going to do some last groceries. So I'm taking it out again. So week 2, taking out 15. Drugstore. I'm just taking everything out because we do need some stuff, and change is always handy to bring. And then from Fun, I'm going to take everything out as well. Maybe we buy something in the thrift store, maybe we don't. But I will put everything back once we get back later today. So that's it. Hi guys, it has been 2 weeks. I got my second binder. So I'm going to close off the week, I think they call it. I'm going to get everything where it is supposed to be. So groceries week 1 is empty because week 1 has been done. Week 2, there's still some money in there, but I've actually already spent it. So that should be taken out as well. And we've got nothing left for groceries for week 2. Let me write down what happened. So there was 15 € and 30 left. We added another 10. So then there was 25.30. And then we spent some money on groceries as well, and that was 30 euros. So there's actually -5. I'm going to keep the 30 cents in the rollover envelope. And I'm going to take the 5 euros out of the extra spending money. There's actually 10 euros in there, so I'm going to take that out and put the 5 euros in. And that way we are even again. Week 3, there's still 100 euros in there. I'm going to start week 3 tomorrow. Week 4, still 100 euros. So my microphone ran out of power and stopped recording, so I'm going to try to do a voiceover for this. So like you can see, I am just looking if the amount that's still in there is correct for some of the categories that I do not have, where I didn't spend anything. And then other categories where I did spend something, I'm just taking out all of the money. And right here, I'm taking out all the money from my wallet as well, give it a little bit of a slap. And then I'm just calculating how much money should still be in there after what I had spent that day. And I put the money in there. And that's basically what you do every time you go to a store. You take out the money that you need from your binder, and you take the money with you to the store. And then, you go to the several stores that you have to go to, maybe a drugstore, maybe you're going to get some candles for your house, which is going to come out of your household budget, stuff like that. You take all the receipts, and then you go back home, you take all the money out of your wallet, and you check for every category where you spend money, how much money should still be in that envelope, and then you just put the money back into your envelope. And hopefully you didn't spend too much. I usually like to take some extra money with me from my extra or rollover binder, so that I don't run out and I'm in the store and I need something and I don't have the money to pay for it. That is embarrassing, and I try not to do that. So that way, that's why there's always too much money. And I just put all the extra money in my rollover, and that's it. So it's February 25th right now, and of course, the month isn't over yet, but we don't really need anything anymore. We have bought everything that we needed for the month, for this week, and we went shopping yesterday for groceries and stuff. So I am going to put everything that's still in this spending binder into my pink saving binder, because I feel like if I put the money from here into here, as soon as money goes into this binder, I'm not touching it anymore. It is gone. I'm very curious to see how much we have left from our budget. So week 1 is empty, week 2 empty, week 3 empty, and then week 4 it is empty. But I haven't, that's because I took everything out to go shopping yesterday, and I haven't tallied everything up yet. Actually, let's start with emptying out my purse. I have 20 euros and a lot of change. That is something that I have noticed. I do accumulate a lot of change. So we went to 2 stores yesterday, Aldi and Albert Heijn. We spent 20.85 at Albert Heijn and 7 euros at Aldi. So what's left? 21 and 20 cents should be left. So like I said, this is 20 and €1.20. Okay. Household. So there should be 23 euros and 10 cents. 10. 20. 23 and 10 cents. Drugstore, there's still 10 euros and 30 cents in there. Eating out is empty. Gas is empty. The pets empty. Fun empty. We spend everything, you guys. Extra is empty. And the rollover still has some change as well. And that's it for this month's budget. So we spent everything. Well, not everything. There are still 50 euros left and some change. So that's great, because I have never been able to save that much money ever in my life. So let's put this away so we can stuff it for March later. I still have to go to the ATM to take out the money, but let's stuff all our money that we have left in our savings binder. I'm very excited, you guys. Let's begin with statiegeld, this one, because we took some of our statiegeld things back to the store. I gotta still put that in there. There was 3 euros and 10 cents. Total comes to 39.60. €3.10. Let's put it in there. Great. The rest of this I can just put wherever I want it. Now, I thought it would be a great way to save is to put everything that's left from household into a house fund, everything that's left from pets into a pet fund, stuff like that. So I remember there was, I can just check. From household, we had €23.10 left. Let's go to house. I'm going to write down what I'm going to put in there. 23. Let's change €2 for like that. Yeah, do another one. And I do this because I also have a €2 challenge, so I want to save my €2 for that. Let's do it like this. So let me write down what I'm putting in there. I'm going to put a fiver, a tenner, €2, €4, and €2. Let's put it down like that. Great. And we had €20 left from our groceries. I can just put that wherever I want because it wasn't from a specific budget. So I'm going to start with the €2 challenge. Right here, I want to, how many €2 do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Also want to put some in my March. So let's start with March actually. I want to put a 4, and a €2 in there. Color those in. I want to have this one full by the end of March. I don't know if I'm going to make that, but we're sure going to try. And let's put something into the spring one as well. I'm just going to put €2 in here. And I clearly made these myself. I didn't spend money on, I just spent money on these 2 binders, and then the inserts, I could easily make them myself. It isn't as neat as it would have been if I did buy them, but this thing is about saving money. So I thought I can just make them myself easily. So I have 5 coins of €2 left. So I'm going to put those in my €2 challenge. Hopefully it stays because these are not zip tied, but okay, anyway. I remember that there was actually €10 left from my drugstore, and I have a beauty saving thing. So I'm going to put €5 in there. Let's flip back to the front, and I'm going to put 2 €5 in my €5 challenge. Let's color them in. And then I've got some change left, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, €1.05. So I don't really have a place for that. These are all small numbers, €1.05. I could do a €1 for the spring challenge or the March challenge, or I could just put them in a different place, like a piggy bank. But I'm very curious to see how much I have saved this month. And keep in mind, I have never saved any money my entire life at the end of the month. So I'm really curious. I'm going to use this to write down what I have saved. I already know that this works because it's the first time in my life that I've saved money at the end of the month. I've always been like wishful and put some, well, not always, but I've tried a few times whenever I get my money in to put some money towards saving, but by the end of the month I get it back to my checking account and it disappears. But now it's the end of the month and there's still money left over. That's a first for me for sure. So let's tally everything up and see how much I have saved. by doing this. I have saved 177 euros and 70 cents this month by doing this cash stuffing thing. And like I said, and you really don't have to believe me, but it is the truth. I have never in my life been able to save. And I did this for 1 month and now I have saved 177 euros and 70 cents. And keep in mind, this is a very financially tough month for me. Just a few years ago, our income was double of what it is now. So this is great. I am very happy about this. I feel accomplished. Um, I will film another clip when I do the cash stuffing for March, so you can see at least that, because the cash stuffing for February, I believe, is lost, the footage. So that's too bad, but I will show you March. I will also wrap up my thoughts at the end of the video. Hi guys, today I want to do the cash stuffing. It is the 1st of March. I don't have time today at home and I have to do this really quickly right now because my phone is almost empty. But I want to do the cash stuffing before I go shopping, and I'm going to go shopping before I go home. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it in the car. I have my binder here and I have the money over here. I have 750 euros. Now I already thought about how much money I needed and I wrote down in all of the folders what I would need, and I decided to, when I went to the ATM, I decided to just withdraw 50 euros less than I was planning on and challenge myself in that way to spend less. So we're going to see how much I'm going to put in all of the categories. So I have 750 euros right here. Let's stuff it right now. So groceries week 1. March does not have 4 weeks, but 4 weeks and a few days. So I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to do some extra money for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then plus the week. So I was thinking 104 euros. Let's do 130 and have 10 euros less. 130 euros goes in, and then the other weeks are again just regular weeks, so they are all getting 100 euros. Okay, household. I was thinking 50. I'm going to keep doing 50. I'm not going to spend less in that category, I don't think. Because last month I did 100, so I already halved that money. Drugstore, I already took some off from last month. I did 50. This month I'm going to do 40. I'm going to keep doing 40. 40 euros into the drugstore. Eating out. So tonight we're going to go out. So I already spent 40 euros. I was going to put 70 and then there would be 30 left. I'm going to take 10 from that. So I'm going to do 20. Gas, I was going to put 150. I'm going to take 10 from that as well. So it's going to be 140. 140. Pets, I already, I was going to put 100. I am going to keep that 100. I already put 50 euros online in a separate account because I need to buy cat food that I can only buy online. So 50 would be left, but I already spent 8 euros and 50 cents. So it would be 41.50. I'm going to put 50 in there because I don't have 40 and I also don't have small money. I don't have change. And then fun was going to still be 30. I was going to put 70. We're going to the movies. Already paid for that, was 40 euros. So 30 should be left. That is correct. I put 50 there, 20 here. It is what it is. Extra. I was going to put 20. I'm just not going to put anything in there. And then we have roll over. So all my money is gone. All the envelopes have been filled. So that's it. That was my cash stuffing for the month of March, so that ends the month as well. And by the way, I took out the household stuff. There was 2 20s and a 10 in there, and I changed it out for the 50 that I put into the pets stuff. So I could put the two €20 bills in my pet envelope, the €10 bill in the fun envelope, and then the 50 went into the household. So everything is correct now. So that was it. That was my journey of cash stuffing. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope that it can help you with your spending and your saving. But let's talk a little bit about what I thought of it. So honestly, I loved doing this. I liked putting in the extra work that it needed to be successful. I actually enjoyed kind of doing the maths and doing the budgets, and at the end of the week or at the end of a day of spending, sitting down and seeing how much I spent and how much I've left. And yeah, I really enjoyed that process of it. I didn't think I would, but I did. It takes some time, but you know, everything that is good takes time, so that's fine. This was groundbreaking to me. At the end of the month, had a lot of money left for groceries and other stuff that I need money for, which is a first. Usually I would have overspent at the beginning of the month, and then by the end of the month I was scrambling to get by. Not this time. I had enough money to buy everything I needed. Of course, I had to be mindful of what I was buying, and I couldn't buy everything, but because I had money allocated to everything, I could get everything that I needed. The budgets were tight, but like I said, I am having a tough time financially right now. So of course the budgets are tight, but I was still able to buy everything that I needed. So that was great. And I had money left over at the end of the month, which is, like I said, new for me. So that was really eye-opening and gave me some breathing room. It was really great for me. I had such a good time with it. There was a lot less impulse buys because, I could easily spend €200 for a week of groceries. I could probably easily spend €300, but I wouldn't need all of that. So I was more mindful of the things that I got. I didn't do impulse buys, and this is not only for groceries, but for every category. I was mindful and I didn't just buy anything for the buying. I was way more critical about the stuff that I bought. Usually, if things weren't that great of quality, I would still keep them or get them because why not? And now there was a why not, because my budget for that particular thing was going to be depleted, and it's not worth it. So it really helped me with impulse buying and being more mindful of the things that I bought. All my bills were paid. This is also something that doesn't happen every month. Sometimes a few bills are not paid, or just one bill. It depends. And then at the next month I had to take care of that, and that month would be financially tight, more tight than it should be, because I was taking care of bills from the month before, and that wasn't the case now because I couldn't overspend. All the money that I could use was in cash, so I couldn't overspend, and it was great. All of my bills were paid. I had money at the end of the month, and I also saved money at the end of the month, which is also, like I said, not something that happens. I usually save money at the beginning of the month, and by the end of the month, it's gone anyway. So I saved, I believe it was about €178. That's great because, like I said, a tight space financially, never been able to save anything, and still I saved almost €200 doing this. Another thing that really was great for me, didn't have to think all the time about if I could spend money on this particular item or not, because I had a very clear budget and it was very clear to me how much money was in the budget left, and that really took off some of the mental load for me. So like I said, if you have €1,000 in your bank account, that is for everything, or you have €100 in 10 different envelopes for 10 different things, you know exactly how much money is left in a certain category. So if you want an item, is there money left for this item or isn't there? And if there is 1,000 euros in your bank account, you don't know after spending 500 if there is still money left for this particular item, or if that was the 500 euros already spent, if you know what I mean. It took off a great deal of mental load. So great. So having to work with cash, like I said, in my country is pretty difficult. And it came down to having to wait a lot at stores, or having to think in advance if you are going to have to spend money on your card for something, and leaving that particular money in that particular budget on your bank account. So for example, in the month of March, my husband and I had a date night. We went out for dinner and we went to the movie theater. We watched Dune Part 2. So it wasn't possible to pay that in cash. So at the beginning of the month, I just got a movie ticket, our movie tickets, and I could also already pay for the food, the dinner that we went to in advance. I just withdrew a little bit less money for fun and for eating out this month. But these are things that you have to be mindful of. You have to plan this in advance. You cannot, if you have to spend something on your bank account and you only have it cash, that's going to be very difficult. So if you already withdrew the cash money for this particular thing, but you want to spend something with your bank card, you can still do that and then take out the money from your cash budget and put it in your rollover for the next month. So that is a way to circumvent that. Or you have to just really think about it at the beginning of the month. Is there anything that I'm going to have to pay by card, and leave the money in your bank account for that. I really recommend getting these binders. They're inexpensive. Just get them in Amazon. There was a lot of people trying to sell you their cash binders for double the price that they probably got from Amazon themselves, and then are selling for double the price. If you really like a creator that is doing these kind of videos and is selling these, and you want to support them, of course, get them, but really they're just drop shippers. So just get them from Amazon, or even some of the Chinese websites like Temu, Shein, they're selling them as well, I think, for even cheaper. So probably Amazon people are drop shippers as well. So anyway, from Amazon they were like 10 euros. So it's worth it, I think, to do it this way instead of doing the envelopes. I think this is easier. And another thing you have to be mindful of, so if I have put all of the money for the entire month in this binder, I don't take this binder with me. If I'm going grocery shopping, I just take out the money for the groceries. I just take it out physically and put it in my wallet, and then when I get back, I put it back in this, so that I don't walk around with too much cash on me. Now, I live in a pretty safe area, probably one of the safest areas in the world, so I'm not really fussed about it. But yeah, you will see if you do this and you go to the ATM and you withdraw 1,000 euros or $1,000, it is a thick stack. I was surprised by that, but it is quite a thick stack, so it doesn't really fit well in your wallet. Also, if people see that, there is a bigger chance of them trying to rob you. So I just take out the money for the groceries, the money for the household, the money for the drugstore, depending on where I'm going, you know. And I put it in my wallet, and when I get back, I put it back in the binder. I don't take everything with me. You could do it, but just to be safe and to be carrying less stuff with me, I just do it this way. But that's it. I'm going to do this for the entire year now because I really loved it, and I feel like this is going to be my way of becoming financially more healthy. Hopefully I'm going to be able to increase my income soon. When that happens, my budgets are going to be bigger. I'm going to withdraw more money for my savings, but I will update you on that later. I will definitely make a video in a year to tell you about how it went for me for a year. But that was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have tried this before, or if you're going to try it, and how it went or how it goes. I'm really curious. I'm nosy. I want to know all of your financial situations, but I know that it is a very private thing. So anyway, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and that was it for me for today. Bye!